Hey guys, what's up? It's COD and Cake, and I'm back on Battlefield 4 with one of my friends, Drewski, and we're going to be doing a dual commentary today about the future games that are coming out in 2014, and I'm pretty excited. Drewski is pretty excited. Most people are pretty excited, and we have some good ones coming out, but we're only going to be talking about 3, and one of them is maybe not necessarily going to be good. But I figured I'd talk about it because it's a pretty big franchise. So we're going to start out here with TitanFall. Then we're going to get into the new SledgeHammer game of Call of Duty. And then we're going to talk about Destiny in the end. And I think you guys should stick around and maybe fast forward if that's what you guys want to hear. Because that is going to be pretty interesting. And I know Drewski knows a whole lot about it. He knows much more than me. But we got some pretty cool information. And first, I just wanted to start off in saying that the new map pack and DLC for Battlefield is going to be released soon. It is going to be a naval warfare-based map pack with the biggest altogether navalry combat so far, and that it's apparently going to blow away every other map that has been released with naval warfare. So I think it's going to be really cool. So you can kind of think about Paracel Storm on steroids, because it's apparently not going to be just a little bit. It's supposed to be significantly bigger with the naval combat. So I'm pretty excited, but without further ado, let's get in the first part. Now, Titanfall is going to be a pretty sick game. I'm pretty excited for it with the futuristic ability of that they're adding in here, and the time that they really put in the little intricate details of just even the rooms really makes the whole entire game feel alive. Now, I haven't played this firsthand, but I know Drewski has. And Drewski, what were your thoughts when you played it, and like what stood out to you?
I don't know. I really loved it. Like it was very how do you say that? It was very fast-paced. You know, like because it's not only just player versus player. There's also AI, so it's always very fast-paced. And it's like even if you suck, there's always AI that's worse than you. Well, I hope they're worse than you, but you can always just kill them and feed points off of them. And then the Titans really, like, I thought at first that, like, oh, it's going to be really off balance with the Titans, right? Like, I thought it was going to be, like, the Titans are just going to destroy, but they balanced it out very nicely. Overall, it's just a really good game, and I'm really excited for it. I already pre-ordered it. It's going to be amazing.
Now, with the AI, are they like Black Ops 2 where they suck and you can basically get a kill off them every time? Or is there any type of like lethal danger, like in numbers, or like any type of like, do they pose a threat basically?
Well, to be honest, like I wasn't very good at the game, but you did, like, let's say another player had already taken damage, like I already took damage away from you, then one of those guys hit you a couple times and then you'd be done, right? But most of the time I felt like they were really, really stupid. Like sometimes they'd just sit there and stare at you and it'd be like, okay, you know, it's kind of awkward almost, and then you'd kill them, and yeah.
So they were a little bit underpowered, is that what you're saying?
Yeah, but at the same time they weren't too like.
They weren't like on a veteran mode.
If they were stronger, yeah. But I feel like they should have modes like that. They might have it. I'm not sure. It would be quite nice if they did. If they had like I'm pretty sure MW2 had something like this, where or even Battlefield, where you have like normal mode and then you have hardcore mode where it's a lot easier to die.
Yeah.
But it's also a lot harder to kill your enemies. Well, that doesn't make sense, but it does. But
yeah.
You know.
And they have something like that.
Something like I hope they do, because you know, at the same, like, it's just kind of, right now, they're really derpy, and they're just really stupid. It's like, it's almost like they're not even there, you know?
Yeah, I see what you're saying. Now, as, like, you played this in beta form, do you think it's going to be, like, in beta form, you were saying that you thought it was a really good game. What do you think it's going to be like in ready form, like when it's ready on the shelves? Do you think it's going to be like one of the top competitors for the next game of the year? Do you think it's going to replace Call of Duty, so to say?
Well, to be completely honest, I think that Infinity Ward made a big mistake by firing people that made, because the people that made
Yeah.
Titanfall were a part of Infinity
Yeah.
Ward, right?
Yeah. They
So
were.
I feel like Infinity Ward, they made a big mistake because I honestly feel like this is gonna be a top competitor with the Call of Duty franchise. It's just there's only one thing that I'd really complain about,
Mhm.
and I wasn't sure if it was just for beta purposes, but I felt like it was way too easy to level up. Like,
To level up.
I got to the max beta level within an hour.
Okay. Yeah, and that's they can kind of go
So I'm
back
not
and
sure if
yeah, I see what you're
that was just
saying.
for beta. But one thing that I thought was pretty cool, like I played it for the entire beta, right? And it was
Yeah.
only 2 maps that they had available. But I felt like every time I played, like, if you were to play one map over and over and over again, like Battlefield, you
Yeah.
get really bored extremely quickly, right?
Yeah.
With those maps, I'm not sure if it was just because it was new maps and it was a new game, a new feel, but I felt like I never got bored with those maps, like ever.
Yeah.
So I was,
Yeah. Sorry.
I was sorry, yeah, but that was and that's only 2 of the maps. Like, could you imagine it with all the other maps? Like, you'd never get bored.
Yeah, and the amount of detail and time that they really put into it, unlike Call of Duty, after MW2, after these guys were fired, in my opinion, Infinity Ward and the whole Call of Duty franchise really started to die, and it's probably going to come back and haunt Call of Duty for firing these guys, and they could see, it's going to be kind of ironic if they could put Call of Duty out of business or replace them by the people that were fired from them originally. And I think that would be really cool. And I do appreciate the amount of time that they really did put into it, with all just even the detail in the rooms and how you can parkour mixed with like futuristic weaponry. I think it's a really good, I'm gonna say package that they did and put them both together. And it's gonna work out in my opinion. So you should definitely check out Titanfall. Me and Drewski are both going to be buying it, and we're both going to be playing, making dual comms, making videos, all that type of stuff. Also moments. So look forward to that. The next one we want to talk about is the new SledgeHammer version of Call of Duty. Now they have not made really a Call of Duty. They've been kind of involved before, but they have not actually made their own, and now they're separating. And as I said in my last video or 2 videos ago, that they're going to be doing this on a 3-year cycle, and they're going to be the next, and we're going to have Treyarch, then we're going to be back to Infinity Ward. But I don't think Infinity Ward should make another one. They suck. I think we should give SledgeHammer a chance. But I think that Treyarch definitely should. Theirs, Black Ops 2 is pretty good. It had a little bit of bouncing issues, but I've talked about that before. Now, SledgeHammer, we don't really know a whole lot about it, so there's not a whole lot to say. But besides the fact is, I am going to be picking up the game. I'm going to be giving it a shot because there's no point of just not getting the game just because we haven't heard anything, maybe just because of their past record. But they're going to be on their own, so it is going to be somewhat different, and I think we should definitely give it a shot. Drewski, do you know anything about the new game coming out?
I haven't really heard all too much about it. I mean, I've just heard that the new Call of Duty game is going to be made by SledgeHammer, but that's all I know. I'm not really up to date with all the Call of Duty stuff, so I don't know really anything.
Yeah, like me personally, I have really been slacking off Call of Duty, and I've been drawing away from them because they've made some really bad decisions. And I know I've talked about that before, but I mean, I really want to stress the point that they made bad decisions, and now they're pretty much, as Mr. Papa would say, is just printing out money. And what I mean by that, and what he means by that, is like they're just putting games out there, and they know that they have a giant fan base, and they have a ton of people that'll like sponsor them and stuff. I mean, but their games, their quality is really going downhill, and a lot of people are drawing away from the whole Call of Duty franchise, and I believe we could see it die in the next couple of years. Now, I've said that several times before, but if their decisions aren't placed properly, as in SledgeHammer, they might have 1 to 2 Call of Duties left. Infinity Ward, it's all going to be based off the next game that they make. It's do or die for them, in my opinion. And if they do like bad, and it's like Call of Duty Ghost or MW3, I think that they're going to significantly lose about 50% of their fan base, because they're not going to be able to compete with Titanfall, Destiny, and Battlefield.